Hi everyone! So I've been home for about 5 days now. Very happy to be home, being back on my comfortable couch, being able to see all my friends and family again, all those aspects. The only thing I didn't really miss was the food. That's definitely not fun for me right now, and I know it's not fun for a lot of the other people who went on this trip also. We're all struggling right now, but it's okay, we'll get through it. So this blog is intended for all the students who might be interested in going on this trip next year, and just some tips that I would have, or some like slight experiences that I've had to tell them about. So I made a little list over here because there's a few things that I wanted to make sure I mentioned. So one thing, going on this trip, I wasn't really like a picky eater, or I never considered myself a picky eater, but like I never even really thought about like the food aspect going over there and how like it was going to be completely different than what I'm used to. For some reason, I don't know why I didn't think about that, because I love food and I usually think about that stuff, but I didn't for this trip. So with that being said, the food is definitely different over there. I definitely consider myself a picky eater now just because of what I like did and did not eat over there. The food that was served at the dorms, well, first of all, the food that they serve over, like that they have over there, is all like it's mostly like natural, like just made. It's super fresh. Completely opposite of what we all eat here, which is a plus because I think our bodies needed that kind of like a little detox from all the American food. And then so a lot of the foods that they have over there is like carbs, which is good because like the amount of walking around that you do and everything. But they have a lot of like stuff that like some of us really liked and then some of us didn't like. So the food was definitely different. At the university, they served like the same kind of like menu for every meal. So like for breakfast, we had a mix between, we would have bread for breakfast, just like plain bread, like it's not toasted or anything. They only served butter with it like a couple of times, which is not bad. And then they would have hard-boiled eggs, which I wasn't even a big fan of eggs before this trip, but now I actually like eggs because I ate hard-boiled eggs a lot. So yeah, this is actually pretty good. And then they would serve G-nuts, which are ground nuts, which just taste like peanuts actually. And I actually bought like a couple of packs from the trading center and brought it home with me because I liked them so much. So breakfasts were really good for me. Then for lunch, they would serve matoke, which is like mushed up banana, which I absolutely love banana, but this is like the super green banana, so it's not like, it has that kind of taste, which I'm not a big fan of. But I know a lot of other people in our group really like that, and they would serve it with like peanut sauce, which I love peanut butter, but for some reason I didn't like the peanut sauce. Like, I would like it occasionally. I think I would have to be like in the mood for it. And then they served like greens and cabbage and then some meat, which the meat is definitely different because like the chicken, for example. So like the chickens like run freely. So it's kind of like our equivalent to, this is what I've been telling people. So like, you know, like here in America, we see squirrels often. That's kind of like the equivalent over there. Their like squirrel would be chickens or like goats. So like they would just be constantly like walking around. You would see them all the time. Like it was an everyday thing. It was completely normal. So since the chickens like walk around more, they like build more muscle. And so whenever they end up cooking the chicken, then they're really like, the meat's like really tough. And I'm not really a big meat eater. I never was really, like, to begin with, like before going on this trip. And so I'm just really picky with meat, I guess, just since I don't eat it that much. So I wasn't like a huge fan. Like there were a couple of times I had chicken. It was like actually really, really good. But other times like I was just, I don't know, iffy about it. So, like, for lunch and dinner, like, those are kind of the things that they would serve. Oh, and rice. Yeah, they served rice for, like, every single thing, which that's pretty much what I ate a lot because I do enjoy rice. But, like, we do have the option since the university is really close, like, walking distance to the local market, like, trading center. There's, like, little shops and stores, and, like, people sell their homegrown, like, fruits and stuff, and, like, eggs and all this other stuff. So we had, like, easy access to that. So definitely one advice I would say is to, like, make sure if you're kind of like a picky eater like me, to bring extra money so that way you can go to the market, buy some foods that you like some things that I tend to eat for, like, lunch or dinner if I wasn't really feeling the dorm food was bread. We would buy bread, and then peanut butter. They sold peanut butter, and then they have this really good jam. I actually have it in the kitchen because I got some for my mom. It's red plum jam, and it is to die for. It is so good. So I would just, like, make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches all the time for lunch or dinner. And then, yeah, and then they sell, like, some other stuff, too, that you can, like, snack on, which is nice. And, like, actually, like, a week and a half before we were leaving, we discovered this lady who makes street meat, which, again, you know, I'm picky with meat, so I never got the street meat, but she also had chips, too, which chips, like, there's French fries here. So I would occasionally get that. I try not to get that a lot because, I mean, I didn't want to jump right into, like, the greasy foods again because I didn't want my stomach to get all messed up. But so I got that occasionally whenever we would go and get it. And then towards the end, we also ended up getting, like, a pineapple every night because the fruit there is just amazing. So, like, me and my friend Haley would, like, always go back and forth and get switch off on who gets the pineapple, and then I would cut it up for everybody at dinner into the little chunks, and we would all share it because at the dorm they didn't really serve like any, like, fruits, which is, like, my absolute favorite. So yeah, we would just buy our own and cut it up and share it during dinner. And then, so going on from the food, the next thing I'm going to talk about is packing. So I love to travel, so I tend to pack a suitcase quite often, and I tend to overpack too, which I tried not to on this trip because, like, you know, you have a 50-pound weight limit, and I didn't want to go over that, which is kind of tricky for 5 weeks. But then again, you have to think, like, you can wash your clothes while you're there, which is a little hard, but it's a learning experience. So you have to think, like, you can wash your clothes over there. You can rewear stuff a couple of times if it didn't get too dirty. So you really don't have to bring that many clothes. And a lot of the clothes that I brought, I ended up like going to Goodwill and getting some clothes because I wasn't going to spend a lot of money on clothes that could potentially get ruined. So I, like, went to Goodwill, or, like, I had my cousin give me her extra clothes that she didn't want anymore. And I actually ended up giving a lot of my clothes away to, like, one of my friends in my group, which this is something I highly suggest to anybody who plans on going next year, because 1, you'll get rid of some clothes that you don't want. 2, it will make you, like, feel better because if you make really good friendships, like what I did, and, like, just giving them something at the end to show them how much, like, you appreciate them and, like, all their help and the friendship and everything that you guys have developed while there. Like, clothes is a huge thing. Everybody loves clothes. So you give, like, rid of some clothes, and then also you'll have room in your suitcase because the last week you'll be going on like safaris, like doing all the touristy stuff. So, like, of course you're gonna buy souvenirs, and you're gonna need that room for the souvenirs. So yeah, that would be my suggestion with the packing. A lot of the things that I wore while I was there were, like, or a lot of the things I should say that I brought to wear there were, like, skirts and, like, loose fitting stuff, which was perfect for the communities when we would go out and do our field work and everything. But the thing is, like, you really only had to wear that, like, in the community, which is something that we learned, like, while we were back on campus. I thought that would be something that we would have to, like, wear around campus and everything, and But with that being said, I wish I would have known like to bring more like athletic shorts or like loose pairs of pants or something comfortable like that to wear around the campus, because that would have been a little bit more comfortable for me since I'm not used to wearing like skirts. And then let's see. So the next thing is that I want to talk about is traveling with teachers. My dad's talking to me. So the next thing I want to talk about is traveling with teachers. So it's actually not that bad. Like, they're just like moms. Like, they were like our moms on the trip. Like, they took care of us. They made sure we got to, like, especially on our travel days, like on the planes, they really helped us, because a majority of us haven't really gone on like international flights where we had to like go on different flights and like switch and like layovers and all of that stuff. So it was like super helpful. So very appreciative for them on that. And they really helped us all, since it was like a first for all of us, like the teachers included. It was just a learning experience for all of us. So like they made sure that we adapted and like got situated, and they made sure that like everything at the university was going well, and like likewise like with the community, with the university, all the faculty and staff there, they really went above and beyond, like just making sure we felt at home, which was awesome, because it definitely made the experience a lot better. So with the professors, like with Dr. Catherall, for example, like we didn't see her as much as I thought we were going to, but then again, I didn't even really like think about what we would be doing and like all that stuff before, like prior to the trip. But like we actually didn't see them as much, but they were still like available for when we needed them, which was awesome. Like we communicated all the time. We were able to set up meetings with her if we had any problems, or just to even talk to her. So that was very nice. And it was nice because we were able to do our own things. So I kind of felt like more independent while I was there, which I really enjoy. So one of the last things I want to talk about is the friendships that you'll make. So again, I didn't really think about this all prior to the trip, but like anybody who goes is going to make so many friends, because just like the citizens in Uganda, like the people who live there, they are very, very nice. They're very, very social and friendly, and everybody in Ndeje University was very, very nice, very, very friendly, very approachable. Like we, even if they didn't know us, they would say hi to us, and that could just be because like we were outsiders, so maybe they just wanted to hear kind of like what we sounded like, because obviously we didn't speak their language and everything. So maybe they just wanted to hear our accents, but like they were just super nice, and like they were very helpful if we were like lost or didn't understand something. They would like explain further. And especially in my field group, I actually made a lot of my good friends are from my field group, because we spent every day together. And during like the lectures that we would have in our field group or conversations, they would make sure to like not go too fast, like slow down, because they do have thick accents. Like they speak English, they just have very thick accents, so it's a little harder to understand it quickly. But they would make sure to speak slowly and like say like, do you understand? Do I need to repeat something? Do I need to translate? Like stuff like that. So just from all of those experiences, like we made a lot of really good friends. But if you've read like my previous blog, we had like, they threw us a farewell kind of like lunch gathering, and that was a very hard day because we had to leave a couple of our really good friends. It was like our last time seeing some people, so like tears were definitely shed. And then even our last night there, we all got together at the bar in the trading center, and like we invited all of our Ugandan friends, and like they all came out, and it was so much fun. So yeah, you're definitely gonna make friendships. Like I still talk to them every day. The time difference is definitely a little crazy, definitely different, but I'm still jet lagged a little bit, if you can tell from my tired face. So it's like easy to talk to them, and video chatting and everything. Oh, I do recommend getting WhatsApp because prior to the trip, because I completely forgot to get it before, so it took a while to download because the Wi-Fi was kind of like iffy, which hopefully that won't be too much of a problem next year whenever you guys go. But like I said, this was everybody's first year, so it was a learning experience, and it was an amazing trip. And if you're thinking about going and kind of like iffy about it, just read all of our blogs because we all had a fantastic trip and we all want to go back next year, and we're just super sad that because it went by super fast, but you'll definitely learn a lot because it's a huge culture experience that I will never forget, and it's definitely a fun story to tell to everybody. Alright, well, that is it for my blog for people who are wanting to go next year. Like I said, I highly recommend it. Please do it. So much fun. Okay, bye!